April 1st, 2006, Columbus, Ohio, a bar called Ugly Tuna Saloona. It's the last night before spring break. The place is packed. Brian Shaffer walks in through the front door at 1:55 in the morning. The cameras catch him. He's laughing. He's with friends. He looks like someone who has everything ahead of him. He was 27 years old, second-year medical student. His mother had just died of cancer. He was out that night trying to forget, trying to breathe. The bar had one entrance, one exit, the same door. Cameras covered it. Brian Shaffer walked in, and he never walked out. Not on any camera, not through any door, not in any direction anyone has ever been able to explain. He was simply gone. His phone, his wallet, his keys, left behind. Investigators searched, his family searched, the city searched. 18 years later, no trace, no body, no answers. Brian Shaffer is still missing. Welcome to Echoes. I'm Alex. Before we get into this case, I want to tell you about Brian Shaffer. He was 27 years old, a medical student at Ohio State, the kind of person who was going to spend his life saving others. He had a girlfriend he loved, a father who believed in him, and a mother he had just lost to cancer, just weeks before he disappeared. He wasn't a headline. He was a son, a partner, a future doctor. And on one ordinary night out with friends, he walked through a door and was never seen again. This is his story, and I think it's going to stay with you. Let's get into it. Brian Randolph Shaffer was born in 1978. He grew up in Pickerington, Ohio, small town, quiet suburb east of Columbus. By every account, he was the kind of person people gravitated toward. Smart, warm, easy to be around. He played guitar. He was close to his family, especially his mother, Renee. He had a girlfriend named Alexis Wales. They had been together for years. She was studying to be a nurse. He was studying to be a doctor. They had plans, a future mapped out. Brian enrolled at Ohio State University College of Medicine in 2004, second year when he disappeared. By all accounts, he was a good student, focused, committed. His professors liked him. His classmates liked him. He was the kind of person you just expected to make it. But 2006 had been a brutal year. In March, just weeks before he disappeared, his mother Renee died, ovarian cancer. She had been sick for a while, but losing her still hit the family hard. Brian was close to her. Her death left a mark. He was grieving. He was trying to hold himself together while also keeping up with medical school. That is a weight most people cannot imagine. April 1st was the last night of the semester before spring break. Brian and his friends decided to go out, the bar district near Ohio State, a string of bars along High Street. They started at Ugly Tuna Saloona, a popular spot, 2 floors, a rooftop deck, 1 entrance and 1 exit, the same door. Brian walked in at 1:55 in the morning. That is the last confirmed sighting of Brian Shaffer, ever. Let's walk through the night. Brian arrived at Ugly Tuna with 2 friends, Clint Florence and Meredith Reed. They had already been to a couple of other bars. They were having a normal night, nothing unusual, nothing concerning. Inside Ugly Tuna, Brian ran into some people he knew. He talked to them. He had drinks. He was seen chatting with 2 women near the entrance around 2 a.m. The cameras captured this. He looked relaxed. He looked fine. At some point after 2 a.m., his friends Clint and Meredith left the bar. They assumed Brian would follow or find his own way home. That was the last time they saw him. The next morning, Alexis, his girlfriend, tried to reach him. No answer. She tried again. Nothing. She contacted his friends. No one had seen him since the bar. She filed a missing persons report on April 2nd. Police reviewed the security footage from Ugly Tuna. They watched every minute, every angle. They watched the entrance, the exit, the same door. Brian Shaffer walked in at 1:55 a.m. He never walked out, not once, not on any camera, not through that door, not through any other door. The building had no other exits accessible to the public that night. Construction scaffolding surrounded part of the building. Some investigators considered whether he could have climbed out through a construction area, but there were no cameras covering that possibility and no evidence he went that way. His phone was found near the bar district, his wallet, his keys. He had nothing on him, no money, no ID, no way to go anywhere that required either, and yet he was gone, completely, without a trace that any camera in that entire district ever captured. Columbus Police Department opened an investigation immediately. They treated it as a missing persons case. They interviewed everyone who had been at the bar that night: staff, patrons, his friends. They searched the surrounding area. The Scioto River was searched. Divers went in. Nothing. Nearby buildings were searched. Dumpsters, parking garages, construction sites. Nothing. The case drew significant attention early on. Ohio State is a large university. A medical student vanishing without a trace from a crowded bar district. That is the kind of story that travels. Tips came in. Alleged sightings. People who thought they saw Brian in different states, different cities. Every tip was followed up. None of them led anywhere. His father, Randy Shaffer, became one of the most dedicated advocates for the case. He hired private investigators. He searched personally. He kept the case in the public eye for years. He appeared on television. He gave interviews. He refused to let his son's name fade. Randy Shaffer died in 2008, 2 years after Brian disappeared. He never got answers. He died not knowing what happened to his son. In 2008, investigators received a tip that changed the direction of the case. A woman came forward. She said she had been on a cruise ship and had met a man who matched Brian's description. He was going by a different name. He was with a woman. He appeared to be living a new life voluntarily. This tip was investigated. It was never confirmed. But it opened a theory that has never fully closed. What if Brian Shaffer chose to disappear? Let's talk about what we actually know and what we don't. The door. Ugly Tuna Saloona had one public entrance and exit. The cameras covered it. Brian walked in. He did not walk out. That is not disputed. But here is what investigators have never fully resolved: the construction scaffolding. At the time of Brian's disappearance, the building was undergoing renovation. There was scaffolding attached to parts of the exterior. Investigators acknowledged that it was possible someone could have exited through a non-public area, through a construction access point that was not covered by cameras. Possible. But there is no evidence Brian did this. No witness saw him in the construction area. No physical evidence was found there. His belongings, his phone was recovered near the bar district. His wallet and keys were found as well. This is the detail that complicates every theory. If he left voluntarily, why leave your phone, wallet, and keys? You cannot go far without those things. You cannot board a plane. You cannot rent a car. You cannot check into a hotel unless someone helped you, unless you had prepared in advance, unless something else entirely happened. His state of mind. Brian had been grieving his mother. People who grieve sometimes make decisions that are out of character. Sometimes they want to disappear from their own life, not from the world, but from the version of themselves they can no longer bear to be. Was Brian in crisis that night? His friends said he seemed fine. The footage showed him smiling, talking, relaxed. But grief is not always visible, and what is hidden is sometimes the heaviest thing a person carries. In 2017, 11 years after Brian disappeared, new footage emerged. A filmmaker named Mark Schiffel had been working on a documentary about the case. During his research, he obtained surveillance footage from a different bar, a bar called Thirsty Scholar, located on the same strip. The footage showed a man who appeared to match Brian Shaffer's description, leaving Thirsty Scholar in the early hours of April 2nd, with a woman. The timing was consistent with the night Brian vanished. Columbus police reviewed the footage. They could not conclusively identify the man as Brian Shaffer. They could not conclusively rule it out either. The footage was inconclusive, but it raised a question that had never been raised before. Was Brian at a different bar that night? Did he somehow exit Ugly Tuna through the construction area, walk to Thirsty Scholar, and then leave with someone? And if so, where did he go, and who was the woman? The footage changed nothing officially. The case remained open. No new leads came from it. But for people who had followed the case for over a decade, it was the first new piece of information in years. It reminded everyone that somewhere, there might still be an answer. Ugly Tuna Saloona has since closed. The building has been renovated. The bar district has changed. The night Brian walked through that door, the world looked different. He was 27. He had a girlfriend who loved him, a father who spent 2 years searching before he died, friends who have never stopped wondering, and a question that has never been answered. How does someone walk into a bar and simply cease to exist? 3 theories. Let's go through each one honestly. Theory 1. Accidental death. The Scioto River runs close to the bar district. It was searched, but rivers move. Bodies don't always stay where they enter the water. Some investigators and family members believe Brian may have fallen into the river or another body of water while intoxicated and disoriented. He had been drinking that night. The area near the bars has dark stretches near the water. This theory would explain why no one saw him leave, why his belongings were found nearby, why there has never been a confirmed sighting. If this is what happened, Brian's body has simply never been found. It is a painful theory, but it is the one that fits the physical evidence most cleanly. Theory 2. He chose to disappear. The cruise ship tip, the Thirsty Scholar footage, the fact that his body has never been found. Some people believe Brian Shaffer walked away from his life voluntarily, that the grief of losing his mother, the pressure of medical school, the weight of everything became too much, and he chose to start over somewhere else, under a different name, with a different life. This theory is harder to accept for people who loved him, because it means he chose to let them suffer, but it has never been proven or disproven. Theory 3. Foul play. Someone in that bar that night knew Brian, or targeted him, and something happened that has been covered up ever since. There is no direct evidence of this. No witness came forward. No physical evidence of violence was found. But the absence of evidence is not the same as evidence of absence. What happened in those hours after 2 a.m. has never been accounted for. What stays with me about Brian's case is his father, Randy Shaffer, who spent 2 years of his life searching for his son, who hired investigators, who gave interviews, who refused to let the world forget, and who died in 2008 without ever knowing. A father who lost his wife to cancer, then lost his son to a mystery, and then ran out of time himself. That is the part of this case that I cannot let go of. Not just what happened to Brian, but what it cost the people who loved him to live in that uncertainty every single day for years. If you have any information about the disappearance of Brian Shaffer, you can contact the Columbus Division of Police, Missing Persons Unit, 614-6454-54545. The case remains open. If you know something, say something. Leave me a comment. Tell me what you think happened inside that bar. Did he walk out through the construction area? Did he choose to disappear? Or is there something else entirely? I read every single one. If this story stayed with you, share it. Put it in front of someone who needs to hear it. Every share keeps Brian's name alive. And if you're not subscribed yet, hit that button, because next week, I have something waiting for you. A case that has never left me. I think it's going to stay with you too. This case is not closed, and neither is the next one. I'll see you next week. The silence is always louder than you think.